So, Star Wars: The Last Jedi has been out now, and it's part of the new storyline. The new storyline consists of a bunch of stories since they removed the old EU. Since before there were like plenty of books alongside the movies, which are the pre, and after the Disney acquisition, the only things canon were the prequels, the original trilogy, alongside the future films like The Force Awakens, and yeah, it's DVD. Um, and they made new canon books. Some were published by Del Rey, which like Aftermath, Empire's End, and like this one, Lost Stars. Everything in the old canon is basically gone. But to be fair, stories like these, Children of Jedi, these were never really approved by George Lucas to begin with. They were like the G canons and stuff. Um, yeah. So they basically restarted everything from scratch and erased canon and started with a new dawn and stuff. They also did a bunch of comics, which I will not show. Alright. So, the main thing is that, they have contradicted one kind of a major scene in the movie, and that's Rey and Poe's first meetings. And in the novelization of The Force Awakens by Alan Dean Foster, they meet in The Force Awakens book. I'll try to find the book. Sorry. And here, the line in the book, it says, "Cheers. Spontaneous embraces filled the room. With so much joy, no one paid attention to was hugging what representative of whichever species. Rey and Poe were not excluded, though their sudden tight clench of shared excitement led to a moment of mutual awkwardness. Hi. The pilot mumbled, "I'm Poe." She nodded slowly, searching his face and find that face she liked. "I recognize the name, so you're Poe Dameron, the X-Wing pilot." "I'm Rey." "I know," he smiled back. A little more at ease. "Nice to meet you." And that's basically it. I heard it was shot for the movie, but it was cut. Also cut was the Unkar plot scene, because Unkar plot had his arms ripped off, but we didn't see that scene because they cut it out. But that's actually not really important, since we do not see Unkar plot in The Last Jedi, and we will probably not see him in Episode 9. Wait a minute. Alright, sorry for that cut. But, and also, if I'm not mistaken, they also showed how Poe Dameron escaped. I mean, also, there's also this junior novel, and yeah, nothing was really major. Like, it's okay. So, I know what Pablo said. Pablo Hidalgo, he's in this story group of Lucasfilm, and he said that if the movies and the novelizations contradict each other, then the movie wins. The movie gets the upper hand, because there can be some slight dialogue changes which really don't matter. I don't think they say "tell that to Kanji Club" in the novelization by Alan Dean Foster. Yeah. We also do the meeting here in the junior novel was pretty different. Because alright. The name electrified the room. Officers who had never shown emotion embraced each other. Poe mused that yet again all tiny victories had contributed to something greater. The girl from Jakku stood next to him, unsure of whether to embrace to someone he barely knew. He introduced himself. "Aha, I'm Poe. So you're Poe, yeah." So the excellent pilot, "I'm Rey." "No, nice to meet you." They traded smiles. Boy, I had a feeling their paths would cross again. So basically, it's
very... Actually, they did not change nothing at all. There was a slight dialogue, but, yeah. I have a lot of Force Awakens stuff here. But they technically did meet in the movie. He technically saw her since, when he was running to attend Finn, he did peek a bit there. So, in The Last Jedi, they meet again. And, it goes like, Rey's attending to the love of his life, BB-8. Because Rey B8, that's like the most romantic thing ever. God, that's competent. Alright. So, Rey was attending to BB-8, and, Poe just looks at her and says, like, hi, I'm Poe, I'm Rey, blah, blah, blah. Then, I'm Rey. I know, they don't mention, Poe doesn't mumble. And, she doesn't call him the accent, Poe just said, Poe, I'm Rey, and blah, blah, blah. They have Rey smiles. And, could be hinting at a romance, could not, could be anything. Could be a crush, could be not, could be an older brother thing. They could be half brothers, because this franchise loves family drama. Star Wars is technically a soap opera, the soap opera of the Skywalkers, and it will be interesting to see if it ends, because the Skywalker family probably would. I think it might end in 9 if Ben dies. They probably... I don't know if they have the balls to end it, though. And no, Ben is not going to marry Rey. I mean, but Ben doesn't really need to. There's no reason for him to not continue the legacy, though. Anyways, the first meeting between them... At one point, I'm kind of glad they moved their meaning from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, since it's more symbolic, since Kylo calls Rey a nobody, you're nobody, but not to me. But that but not to me part is just using for her powers to rule the galaxy, because she's just that naturally gifted in the Force. And Poe, she realized that people do care for her as a person, and the Resistance cares for her, and Poe and Leia and BB-8 show that. I'm just imagine if there's like a love hexagon between Rey, Poe, Finn, Ben, Rose, and BB-8. Yes, I said BB-8 because that romantic tension between Rey and BB-8 is amazing. You know how she fixed that antenna? And the romantic tension between Poe and BB-8. You know, the reunion like that. That was really cute. I mean, like, BB-8 was like a dog, the puppy dog. Oh, whatever. Yeah, and as soon as... Right, back to the brain posting. Like, as soon as that happened, like... this happened in the book, didn't it? Like, they contradicted the book. And it's like, that's a bummer. And it can be concerning for the future where they continue to contradict the stuff, and basically it's like the EU all over again, where only the films are canon, like, and the novels are a lower tier of canon. It's kind of sucks if you're a reader of the novels and the comics, because yeah, why you're investing stuff for the story. I mean, yeah, I know you. Why don't you just buy books for the stories? But some people want an expanded universe. That was what it was originally called. And yeah. I mean, the best reasoning for the contradiction is that you know what? Let's just say Rey was a very forgetful person, and Poe was just being a gentleman and said, "I know," because like we already met. I know that. I mean, you know what? Also, let's go back to the subtle romance thing. I'm pretty sure That's why people ship Poe with the reason there are so many Poe ships is because Oscar Isaac just has sexual chemistry with everyone, and that came out of my mouth. Oh, I just like showing things might. I mean, because he can charm the pants of everyone. Look at the interviews he did that with Lupita. He did that with Adam Driver. Yeah, he did that. I don't know if I do. I have that saved? I don't think I have it saved. It's not saved. Actually, yep. That's on my phone. Because dude is. This is also Ridley Scott. And yeah. Also, that dude can sing. Wow, I'm going off topic. God. Yeah, and I'm just gonna say in short terms that I really, and since The Last Jedi novelization is coming out in March, around the time the Blu-ray releases, I hope they had enough time to make sure there's no major contradictions in this novel. I mean, I don't think there will be major contradictions. It will be interesting to see how they do their first meeting in this novelization, though. The Last Jedi novelization, since they contradicted this novelization here, they're gonna contradict that novelization as well. Let's just play with the Millennium Falcon because that is wonderful. Also, justice for R2D2. Dude barely gets any time. I mean, he has the best scene where he and Luke are together. Yeah. Dude got shafted again. Also, Altamir Akbar's dead. To be fair, Akbar wasn't that big of a character to begin with. Sorry, Akbar. I'm so sorry. But hey, that's it. It's a simple meeting that just because. Honestly, the biggest part is, all right. So, not everyone reads the novelizations. I say like 5%, 10% maximum of the people who watch the films read the novel. Actually, no, 5%. Not everyone who watches the films reads the novelizations. And when like there's like you're gonna say like, wait, these two haven't met before. Why do they feel like they've met before? Though to be fair, you can make the assumption that like, of course they met before. Why wouldn't they in the base? Like they were like that near each other. Like I think Bray was here and like Bo was there. Like why would they not meet? I don't know. The only thing that bugs me is besides the canonization thing, which could really get confusing in the near future, and they have to fix this. Yeah. They really need to. Oh, they also need to implement more of the new canon in the new canon into the movies. So, just so you can, because the EU fans are mad at everything they knew and loved was decanonized, even though George never really considered them part of the story. But yeah. Alright. I mean, alright, the only reason... Alright, I lost my thought and I finally regained it. The only reason I'm a bit bummed that the Force Awakens canon part was left out was because of character relationships. I mean, they only knew each other for like 10 seconds of a movie, and I want to see the characters bond a bit more. You know, doesn't need to be romantic, brother sister, platonic stuff. Boom. Because there's a 5% chance they're related. I mean, Shara Bay's dead, but that's Poe's mother. Cass Darman could have remarried, I don't know, Poe the Forestry. I don't know. Because I'm pretty sure that Leia wasn't even Luke's sister. I mean, she wasn't supposed to be her sister from the very beginning. I believe in that. And I believe in that she was never supposed to be Luke's sister from the beginning. They retcon it because, you know, the kiss, and because there were Marvel comics that showed them in a romantic relationship, and even the book Splinters of the Mind's Eye, also written by Alan Dean Foster, was they were in romantic stuff, and it's, I don't know. I mean, maybe you can show it in the end where like Leia senses Luke, but it's just implying that she's a Force user, not an actual. They're in a brother-sister relationship. Yeah, I've talked about this for so long. I was just supposed to talk about how we contradicted that canon, and now I'm talking about Luke and Leia. That kiss. That's in my brain now.